Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Is the screen visible?
yes.
So, good morning, everyone. Today we will discuss BCH codes, which is Bose Chaudhary Hockingham codes. So, first of all, what we will do in this lecture, that first of all we know for
Yeah,
the
before
outline is.
yeah, 1 minute. So actually, Bose. Actual name is R.C. Bose. Okay,
Yes, sir.
R.C. Bose actually worked in design theory, and I'll tell you one small story about R.C. Bose. He's a great mathematician. We need to know, like Ramanujan,
Okay.
many people, good mathematicians. R.C. Bose is one. Okay, so when we got independence, at that moment, you know that ours is agricultural country, right? So at that moment, the major objective of the government is that we need to maximize our yields. Okay, so that we do not have any problem related to the food. Okay, food problem has to be eradicated. So no poverty, at least for the point of food. So they constructed ISI. Mahalana B is one person. So ISI Calcutta, Statistical Institute. So the main objective is this. So statistical experiments. Okay, so take a land and different varieties, which one yield good results. So some ideas. Okay, so then Mahalanabis recruited R.C. Bose. Okay, so he asked him to work and try to look at that. See, you take a part of land and you make different varieties. So divide the plot into different parts, and which one is growing, which one is yielding more, right? So that we cannot do for entire India. We'll do small areas and we'll do. For example, there are 3-4 coffee products are there, right? So you will take some set of people and you will do with them experiment, right? And also they cannot take all the coffee powders. They will die. So we need to have a clear cut mechanism. So and also we'll get the results. We need to know about all the varieties. So that is his goal. So then that design theory and all came, and so he is that person. So one joke about him is that so he is interested in field theory, mathematics field theory. So Mahalanabis asks, so he will tell to the clerk that whenever Mahalanabis asks about me, tell him that I am working in the fields. Okay, Mahalanabis idea is that he has to work in the paddy fields. Okay, so of course he done his job. So that is paddy fields and fields in mathematics. Okay, so if you are interested, look at Wikipedia website on RC Bose, you will get. So Hockingham is another person. Though these are not together, they done. Hockingham done separately. R. Bose and Chaudhary done, Rai Chaudhary done separately. Right. So, but
Yes.
they done independently, but name given to all the three of them. Okay, yeah, proceed.
So, first, in the introduction, we'll see that why we need BCH codes, and then in the basic definition, we will see some basic definitions of primitive element, primitive polynomial, what is extension field, what is minimal polynomial, and factorization of x power n minus 1. And then we will see the generator, how do we get generator polynomial for BCH codes, and then how it is using for multiple error correcting BCH codes, and then decoding of BCH codes. So suppose there is a situation which is in which it is necessary to have a code that can correct a certain number of errors. In such a case, it is naturally desirable to have some code that can correct a large number of concentrated errors. So, for example, coding of a compact disk, it is very easy for CDs to acquire marks, fingerprints, and scratches, and all of which cause errors or noise when the disk is being read. So, we want to have such a code such that it can correct a certain number of errors. And the second example is deep space transmission. In so where deep space transmission is that where it can take months for a single message to be received. So we want to have uh, the code which can correct the uh, large number of errors, so that we can so BCH codes are helpful in such a situation. So BCH codes are subclass of cyclic codes, and BCH codes are known for their multiple error correcting ability and ease of encoding and decoding. Is it fine?
Yes, yes, go ahead. Yeah, good. So they're cyclic codes. So please recall that what are cyclic codes. That is the only thing. So I'll ask one question to all of you. So how many cyclic codes will be there? So for example, I take um, x power n minus 1, right? You know cyclic
Yes.
codes related to what? Not you. I'm asking all people. So cyclic codes. So when do I get cyclic codes? Is cyclic code is a linear code? Question number 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cyclic code is a linear code. And what else we have? So linear codes can be get once you get a linear code once you know something. What is that? Entire code can be known by using something.
Generator
Matrix. Very good. So generator matrix. But cyclic code can be known by if you know something. So that is also from that I'll get generator matrix also. What is that? I'll repeat. So to cyclic codes are linear codes. Linear codes are once known completely once you know the just generator matrix or a parity check matrix, right? Okay. Now generator matrix. Now how to get generator matrix? In the cyclic code there is another one. If you know that one, I'll get generator matrix. What is that?
the polynomial.
Yeah, which polynomial? What is that polynomial called? Generator polynomial only.
Yeah.
So each generator polynomial give one cyclic code. So number of generator polynomials and number of cyclic codes are same. So generator polynomial again related to what? Okay, so you maybe forget these things. So you need to be clear about it. Okay, generator polynomial actually, how do you know that given polynomial is generator polynomial or not? My cyclic codes are, let us say, cyclic code over cyclic codes of length n. Cyclic codes of length n, right? I'm telling you the n. Cyclic codes of, code words of.
It divides xn minus 1.
Yes. So it is one-to-one correspondence between all the polynomials which divide x power n minus 1. They are the cyclic codes. Now, so divisors means now it. So many divisors will be there, but the BCH codes will not take all of them. So that is the main crux. That's why BCH codes are cyclic codes, but cyclic codes are not BCH codes. So what is extra condition I am putting on BCH code so that so cyclic codes convert into BCH codes and it has a very nice required properties. So for that purpose, you need to recall the cyclic codes carefully, right? Even after the class, you have to again revise things. Yeah. So BCH codes, I will ask questions in the final exam. Yeah, go ahead, Pragati.
So why is it different? So far, our approach has been to construct a code, then find out its minimum distance in order to estimate the correcting capability. That's how we done in the coding theory. In this class of code, we start from the end. We begin by specifying the number of random errors uh, we desire we desire to code we desire the code to correct, Then we go on to construct the generator polynomial for the code, and then we find the code and the minimum distance and all. Since the BCH codes are subclass of cyclic codes, hence decoding method of for any cyclic code also works for BCH codes.
Wait, yeah. So how far you understand that the second point? Other end, she's told that we start from other end and all. So somebody can say something. Either you ask questions or I'll ask question, right?
Yes.
Not you, I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm talking to all the participants. You have to ask questions, right? Otherwise, we will ask. Do you understand that point? Okay. See, when you have a coding theory in the coding theory, so you will compute the distance later after code aane ke baad. So I do not have a control what is the D and all, right? But in the BCH codes, you specify the D beforehand. Then I can construct the code with that particular distance. It is beautiful, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the beauty of this BCH codes. That's why they become famous. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So some basic definition which we need for BCH codes are, what is the primitive element? So it's an element alpha in the Galois field of order Q, such that every field element except 0 can be expressed as a power of alpha.
How many of you know this? Why it exists actually? Somebody can help me? Why primitive element exist? Come on, yeah. Suppose f plus dot is a finite field. Yeah.
Because field minus 0 becomes a cyclic group.
Very good. It is cyclic group. So please do not forget that. So f plus dot is a finite field. Then f plus is an abelian group, and f minus 0 multiplication is also an abelian group. But f plus is not a cyclic group. It is isomorphic to ZP cross ZP cross ZP, like that. What is a
An abelian group.
So actually, why it is ZP cross ZP cross ZP? It is because abelian group may. So P is the characteristic. So P into X equal to 0, right? So I cannot have order of any element greater than P. Okay, very important. So in the interviews also, I also told at that time. So F plus is isomorphic to ZP cross ZP cross ZP and so on. Whereas the two groups are completely behaves differently. When I remove 0 from FP, then that is also a group, right? Because it is a field, but that is cyclic group. Cyclic group means it has a generator. So that is what we call primitive element. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
For example, if we take Galois field of order 5 and we consider 2, then 2 is the primitive element. We can see that the powers of 2 is nothing but all the non-zero element of Z5. So hence we can also see that 3 is also a primitive element, and 1, 4 and 5 are not the primitive element here.
Somebody can tell me that why 4 is not a primitive element? In Z5?
Sir, 4 square is 16, which is 1 mod 5.
Okay, then what is the problem?
So for 4,
Order is 2.
order.
Okay, why order is 2?
Because 4 square.
Okay, that is okay, but in general, why order is 2? How can I prove it? So is it true for only 5? If I take any prime P,
Oh, x square is congruent to.
No. If I take any prime p, so what is the number I am looking for? 5 may it is 4.
P minus 1.
So p minus 1. So what do you know about p minus 1?
Its order is 2.
Why its order is 2? That's the question I am asking. Why its order is 2? Modulo p, right? So p minus 1
Oh
whole
yeah,
square
it's
kernel.
got p square, p in every term.
Yeah. So actually p minus 1 is congruent to what? Mod p. P minus 1 is congruent to x mod p. What is x?
1.
1 or minus 1?
Minus 1.
Minus
Minus 1.
1.
So p minus 1 is nothing but minus 1 only. 4 is nothing but 4 is congruent to minus 1 mod 5. Okay. 6 is congruent to minus 1 mod 7. 12 is congruent to minus 1 mod 13. So it is minus 1 only. Okay. So because that it is square is equal to 1. So that never be a, it is of order 2 in particular. Okay. Good. Okay. So that is exactly that. How many roots are there for x square equal to 1 mod p? X square is congruent to 1 mod p. How many roots will be there? 2 roots will be there. What are the 2 roots?
P minus 1 and.
So generally you will say 1 and minus 1, but here when you are in the finite fields, 1 and p minus 1.
P.
P minus 1.
Yeah, so these are the roots, right? So that is the thing. Okay. So every polynomial of degree n has at most n roots in a finite field, in any field in fact. But at most, why I told, sometimes it does not have roots also. For example, x square plus 1, if I take real numbers, right? How many roots it has over R? X square plus 1?
0.
0 roots. So it may have, if it has one root, then it has other root also, right? Yeah, but there is a possibility that sometimes it does not have roots also. So that's why we will say at most, right? Okay, but x square minus 1 has 2 roots, any field you take, and 1 and minus 1. But in the finite field case, minus 1 is nothing but p minus 1. Okay, so 1 and 4 out of in modulo 5, 1 and 4 are not primitive, but 2 and 3 are primitive. And another way to say is that 1 and 4, another way to look at here in particular, in this particular case only, in 5 only. That is one of the question I asked in the Viva. Okay, so what is the difference between primitive element and non-quadratic, quadratic residue, non-quadratic residue? I will not tell the answer now. It is you to figure out. So 2 and 3 are non-quadratic residues, but so they are primitive also here. Okay, but quadratic residues, that is, so square is equal to has a solution, they never be primitive elements. Okay, so now we need to see that primitive element has to be quadratic non-residue, but quadratic non-residue need not be primitive, but in 5 both are same. Yeah, I will not go further. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So next is primitive polynomial. A primitive polynomial px over gfq is a prime polynomial. Prime polynomial is a monic and irreducible polynomial over gfq with the property that in the extension field constructed modulo p of x, the element represented by x is a primitive element. Is the definition clear?
Okay, maybe with one example they may realize later.
Yes, sir.
It is a little difficult as such. Yeah, one example
Yes.
may be better. Yeah.
So, how do we construct a Galois field of order 8 with the primitive polynomial px? Px is equal to x
But you
cubed
wrote
plus.
prime polynomial, so some people say irreducible polynomial. Okay, so don't worry
Yes,
about
sir.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is irreducible polynomial. Once we have irreducible polynomial, then what happens?
then it cannot be factored.
That is okay. How do you utilize it? Irreducible polynomial. So GF8, but I am calling as F8. You remember? F2 power 3.
Yes.
My notation is
Yes.
F2 power 3. Of course, you are using GF8, no problem. But so how do you get that GF8?
F2x by px.
F2x. F2fx is when set of all polynomials with coefficients from F2. Then you are quotienting with this one. F2 of
This
x
one.
is F2 of x is what? What do you know about F2 of x? If F is a field, what do you know about F of x?
Integral domain.
Integral domain. More than that. If
It's
F
a
is a field, F of
PID.
it is a PID. More than that, of course, PID is sufficient. PID is sufficient.
So it is an ideal.
It is a Euclidean domain also.
Euclidean domain.
But PID is okay. PID okay. What do you mean by PID?
Every ideal is generated
Single
by
element.
single
But
element.
that is okay. But that is not PID पे कुछ properties होता है. So an element, how do I check given ideal is maximal or not? Okay, that is a question. So if I have a PID, principal ideal domain, I know that R is a PID, and I want to characterize, I want to find out all maximal ideals. How can I find out? That is a beauty. Why we study?
Rx by the ideal generator.
That is okay. That is general. That is even for any ring. Any commutative ring pe, if you take R is a commutative ring, right? So R of x by R of x I'll take in R of x I quotient with that. If it is a field, then that is irreducible. Sorry, that is a maximal ideal, right? Quotient with something, if I get a field, that is a maximal ideal. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
But that is anywhere there. But principal ideal domains mein kya extra property? Are you following my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm thinking.
What I want to say, you take some R, a commutative ring. I want to know I is a maximal ideal or not. What you are saying that I quotient with I, and if it is a maximal ideal, so that is irrespective of whether it's a primary principal ideal domain or not. But I do not want to do that. I do not want to do quotient. So I know I'm giving you that it is a principal ideal domain. Now I give an ideal to you. You want to check whether it is a maximal ideal or not. How do you do that?
If the generator is irreducible.
Yeah, so irreducible element. Irreducible again depends upon the field you are. So you are in Z. Z is a PID. So maximal ideals are ideal generated by prime numbers. Their irreducibles are those. When you come to Fx, irreducible polynomials are the primes are irreducible elements, right? So what is the conclusion now? If R is a PID, I is maximal ideal if and only if it is generated by the irreducible element. So how do you define irreducible element? An element is said to be an irreducible element. It is a non-zero, non-unit. But if it is written as product of two elements, one of them has to be unit. That is a definition. So we can I cannot go into entire details, but that is the criteria if and only if condition. An ideal is in a PID is maximal if and only if, since it is already PID, it is generated by single element. So now that single element is irreducible or not, I will check. If it is irreducible, that is maximal. Not. Simple. Very nice criterion. Yeah, okay. So now somebody can help me that why x cube plus x plus 1 is irreducible in Z2 of x.
Does not have roots.
Very good. So if you take a polynomial of degree 2 or 3, it is sufficient to check whether it is root or not. It has a root or not in Z2. But if 4 or 5, there is no like that, because if the polynomial of degree 3 or 2, then what happens if it is reducible? That means that it is not a product of two polynomials. Then one of them has to be of degree 1. So that has to have a root. That's why. So degree 3 easy to check. Yeah, so why it is irreducible? Now somebody else over Z2, not Shruti, not Pragati. Why x cube plus x plus 1 is irreducible over Z2?
So we have we don't have the roots in Z2,
Very
and
good.
whatever
Why?
you said
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one
right.
of them is the unit.
Yeah, so if I substitute 0, no, not one of them is unit. If you substitute 0, then I'll get 1. If I substitute 1, still I'll get 1. None of them are roots. So sufficient. It does not have roots. So I cannot split into
Yeah.
product of two polynomials. So it is irreducible polynomial. So if it is irreducible in Z2 of x, then what happens? What next? The ideal generated by x cube plus x plus 1 becomes
Maximal.
maximal ideal. So if I
Maximal
quotient
ideal.
with that, I'll get a field, right? I'll get a field.
Yeah.
What is the order of that field?
8.
Number of elements, that is 8, 2 power 3. What is 3? T is the degree of that polynomial, right? These are the ways. Okay, how we will get that one? Why 3? Why 2 power 3 coming? So what is z of x actually? Z2 of x. What is Z2 of x?
All polynomials with
All polynomial.
coefficient.
But when I quotient with x cube plus x plus 1, what is
The
happening?
remainders will be
Degree
of
2 polynomials,
maximum degree 2.
So degree 2, how the polynomial look like?
A0 plus A1x plus
Plus
A2
A2x
x square, and
No,
each one has
two choices.
this.
A0 has two choices, A1 has two choices, A2 has two choices. So 2 into 2 into 2, 8. Is it okay, Aditi?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So this is what, so do not accept anything. I hope now this is clear. So the interesting point is that, very, very interesting point, maybe you can prove later, that if I take any irreducible polynomial in Zp of x of degree n, that is used later. I'll repeat. You take some irreducible polynomial of degree n, some irreducible polynomial of degree n over Zp of x, then that divides x power p power n minus x. That is very essential thing in the entire field theory. I'll repeat. If I take a irreducible polynomial of degree n over Zp of x, then that divides x power p power n minus x. I'll repeat one more time. If I take a irreducible polynomial of degree n over Zp of x, then that polynomial divides x power p power n minus x. Okay, so that means that to get all the irreducible polynomials of degree n, I'll split x power p power n minus x and look at them. That is what exactly in BCH codes also we will do. Yeah, okay, then proceed.
Yeah. So the definition of primitive polynomial was the element represented by x in the GF8 should be a primitive element, which is suppose alpha be the primitive element of GF8. So here I'm writing z. We can write it as x also. So the element represented by x, which we are denoting is alpha power 1, which is a primitive element. That was the definition of primitive polynomial. And how do we construct GF8? We'll take alpha
No, I
powers
think
of
no,
alpha.
1 minute.
Yes, sir.
See, all of you has to, maybe it is known thing, not known or whatever. I want to tell you one point that will help you maybe. See, you know x square plus 1, right? When you are in the real numbers, what is its root?
No roots.
No roots. So then what is that? Kronecker told one thing. You take f is a field. You take any polynomial in fx. So he told that there exists some extension. There is some extension. Extension means bigger field containing this field, where the roots of this polynomial will be there. Is it okay? Rohana
Yes,
is
sir.
there? Rohan?
Yes, yes. It's
Okay, I'll repeat. I take some polynomial, right? So there is some extension where the root will be there. So this x cube plus x plus 1, f2 does not have a root. Z2 पे नहीं है. That's why it is irreducible, right? So, but what that Kronecker is saying, it is very abstract, very, very abstract. So he told that there is some field. We don't know what is that also. But there it has a root. But try to understand that doesn't mean that it has all the roots of that polynomial also. I'll tell you a simple example. You take x cube minus 2. X cube minus 2 over q. You know q. Q is rational numbers. What are the roots of x cube minus 2?
Cube root of 2 omega cube root of 2 omega square cube root of 2.
Very good. But I'll now only go to adjoining cube root of 2 to q. Okay. Then it contains one root, but it does not contain other roots, because adjoining cube root of 2 to q, I'll get a field with all the numbers are real numbers. Are you following that point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is called not a Galois extension. Okay. So a field extension is said to be Galois extension. Once it contains one root, it contains all the roots. Okay. Don't worry about if you're not following properly, but it is my duty to tell. Okay. But finite fields are Galois fields. What do you mean by that? It contains one root, it contains all the roots of that polynomial. I'll repeat, Galois, so finite fields are Galois fields. Galois fields means, so it contains one root, then it contains all the roots. They are in fact splitting fields. So that is what I discussed earlier, but you may not remember, but I'll discuss again as time progress here also. Okay, now what is that she is telling is that x cube plus x plus 1 has some root. What is that root? Abstractly, that is itself is called x or z. Okay, otherwise you can call alpha, but alpha is also abstract. I don't know what is that root is, like iota. Iota is some symbol, right? We created, man created with I square equal to -1 with some assumption. Okay, like that alpha is some root for x cube plus x plus 1. We don't know how it is look like. Okay, but what is that if I substitute alpha in this polynomial f of alpha? Hello?
yes. It will give you the zero of that.
Zero, right? Yeah, good. So alpha is okay. Now Pragati, you can go ahead. That is alpha or z or x, whatever she is telling is that. So that comes from Kronecker's theorem. Yeah. Okay.
So how many roots are supposed to be there in the theorem guarantees that extension theorem? Can you repeat once again? So it
Extension
guarantees how
theorem
many.
says that, see, once it has one root, it has all the roots.
So
Okay,
there exists a superset field which contains.
But there in general, if you take the Kronecker extension says that at least it contains a root only. It contains a root.
Okay. And this Galois extension says that it contains all the roots. There exists a field larger than the given field.
No, see, that is even true there also. There is some field where all the roots will be there. That can be constructed by applying Kronecker's theorem repeatedly. I will repeat. See, x cube minus 2, there is a field which contains one of its root, that is q of cube root of 2, but it does not contain all the roots, right? Now q of cube root of 2 is another field now. It is an extension over q. Now this polynomial split there. Which polynomial? X cube minus 2.
Yes. Again,
but now it is a product of one polynomial of degree 1, other polynomial of degree 2. That is not splitting there. Okay, now I'll take that polynomial here. Now that will split in the higher level. That is called the, so finally where it splits completely, that is called splitting field.
Yes.
But in the Galois finite fields, it contains one root, it contains all the roots. That is itself is the splitting field.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That is the beauty of that.
Yes.
For example, all.
Yes. So when we said,
uh,
so just clarifying that when we said contains the root, like we mean that contains all the roots. We mean that just it contains n roots. Like
right.
okay,
Exactly. All the n roots it contains.
yes.
Exactly. Right. Good. Thanks. Yeah, Pragati, go ahead now.
So we know that the primitive element of GF8 will generate all the non-zero elements of GF8. So hence we can find the all the we will do powers of alpha and we will get the all the non-zero elements of GF8. Now primitive polynomials of every degree exist over every Galois field, and a primitive polynomial can be used to construct an extension field. We have seen in the example there. Now factorization of now we'll see how do we factorize x power q minus 1 minus 1. So suppose beta 1, beta 2 up to beta q minus 1 denote the non-zero elements of the Galois field of order q. Then our claim is that x power q minus 1 can be written as x minus beta 1 into x minus beta 2 up to x minus beta q minus 1. So for the proof, since every beta 1 can be written as the power of the primitive element, and we know that the primitive element alpha power q minus 1 is always 1. So in this way we can prove that x power q minus 1 can be written as x minus beta 1 into x minus beta 2 up to x minus beta q minus 1.
No need to tell these two things. If
Yes,
beta 1, beta 2, beta q minus 1 are all the non-zero elements, field elements, that satisfy. Why they satisfy? If beta 1 is an element, that
Yes,
means
sir.
it is an element in the group.
Yes, sir.
What is order of the group?
Q minus 1.
Q minus 1, multiplicative group. So by Lagrange theorem, order element power order of the group equal to identity.
Yes, sir.
So every element satisfies. 0 will not satisfy. So if you multiply it by x, that is x power q minus x. So that is product of all the things. So that is exactly that all the finite field. Finite field, every finite field is splitting field of x power q minus x for some q. That is a simple. So you can lock it. F is a
Yes,
finite
sir.
field with p power n element, then it is actually splitting field of x power p power n minus x. For example, you know Z5 is Z5. Okay, Z5 is
Yes.
now x into x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, okay, what is that I want to say that you no need to bring alpha here. But
Yes,
what
sir.
you say that beta 1 now actually what? Alpha power something.
Yes, sir.
Beta 2 is alpha power something because alpha is the generator or the primitive element. So it is cyclic group. So it is generated by single element. So I can replace beta 1 by alpha power something, beta 2 by alpha power something, and so on. That you can say. But without bringing alpha, this is already known by group element, right? Group Lagrange theorem. Yeah, fine.
So in a similar, in this way, we can factorize x power 4 minus 1 in Z5 as x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4. So one factorization of x power q minus 1 minus q we know from here.
So somebody, so I'll ask one question. Okay. Yeah. So
Yes,
somebody
sir.
can factor x power 4 minus 1 in Z2. You are factoring in Jet 5, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I am asking students to factor it in Jet 5, Jet 2. X power 4 minus 1 in Jet 2. You know Jet 2?
Sir, -3 and -4 will get replaced by.
No. Yeah, don't. Okay, so that's fine. Do not look into this thing. You do independently, so that others also got not confused. Okay, do not worry about this. X power 4 minus 1, and I want to factor in Jet 2. How do you do it?
So that will be x square minus 1 into x square plus 1.
That is the first thing. So no
Yes.
problem. Good. Okay.
And then it is x minus 1 into x plus 1
Okay.
into x square plus 1.
Okay. So is it correct? But x square plus 1 is how much?
X square minus 1.
X square minus.
Yeah, but other than that, more than that, I am asking.
X plus 1 the whole square.
X plus 1 whole square. Okay.
So it's x.
So there is a mistake over there.
So the entire thing is x plus 1 raised to 4. Because x raised to
Yes.
x plus 1 raised to 4 has 4 they will divide 2 in all the 2 will divide all the other terms except for x raised to 4 and 1.
Okay, but what about I'll take x for okay, fine. So think about, yeah. So we'll go forward and again come back whenever required to here. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, Pragati.
Now, the process of obtaining a generator polynomial, we know that in order to find generator polynomial of a cyclic code of block length n, we have to first factorize x power n minus 1. And we know that its factorization is possible. So suppose x power n minus 1 can be factorized into f1x, f2x up to fpx. And we'll see that any combination of these factors can be multiplied together for a generator polynomial g of x. So for this, what is primitive block length? If our block length n is of the form q raised to power m minus 1, then it is called a primitive block length. And a cyclic code over GFQ of primitive block length is called primitive cyclic code. So the field GFQ power m is we know that the field GFQ power m is an extension of GFQ, and let the primitive block length n is equal to q power m minus 1, and suppose we have the factorization x power n minus 1 is equal to f1x, f2x up to fpx. Here p is not a prime, it is any number. It is just a factorization of x power n minus 1. So we also know that the generator polynomial divides x power n minus 1. So gx will be the product of sum of these fix. And we also know that x power q minus m minus 1 is a product of x minus beta j, where beta j ranges over all the non-zero elements of gfq power m. So we know this factorization is there.
Yeah, one minute before going further. See, again, go back to the earlier example. Why I told, I'll tell you again. X power 4, you can keep here, no problem. X power
Yes.
4 minus 1. Okay, you can keep here only. Yeah, better here only. See, x power 4 minus 1. If you take x power 4 minus 1, so what is its derivative in Z2?
Zero.
0. You see that? So then if it is 0, then what is the GCD of x power 4 minus 1 and its derivative? X power 4 minus
X power 4 minus.
Very good, right? So, but see, when I have a polynomial, when you say that all its roots are distinct,
When the roots, when you derivate and the derivative doesn't have the same roots.
any so, right? So for example, if it has a repeated root, f of x has a repeated root, say alpha. So so then f of x equal to x minus alpha whole square into something. Then the derivative also alpha x minus alpha will be there. So x minus alpha divide both f x as well as f dash of x. So whenever we have a repeated root, then the GCD of fx and f dash of x is not 1. Okay, so that is very useful criterion. Okay, so now if q power m n equal to q power m minus 1, then GCD of q comma n is 1. You see that? That's why you'll get a. So now if I differentiate this, and again q is maybe prime. If q itself is actually some prime power something, I think here our intention q is a prime number. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so then what happens if I what is the derivative now? It is n into x power n minus 1 minus 1, right? But now n comma q GCD is 1. Are you able to see that? The roots are
Yes, sir.
distinct. So that is the one of the reason that this is one place where GCD one choice. Okay. Yeah, now we can proceed.
Now, now we'll see what is a minimal polynomial. Since x power q m minus 1 can be written as product of x minus beta j. This implies that each of the polynomials fix can be represented in gfq power m as the product of sum of the linear terms, and each beta j's is a zero of exactly one of the fix.
So Pragati, I will ask one question to you.
Yes, sir.
These beta j are in ZQ or ZQ power bigger field?
In the bigger field.
Yeah, they cannot be in the lower field, right?
Yes, sir.
Why it is so?
Sir, because there may not be it may not have contained all the roots.
Yeah, why? That's what. Very good. You are correct. Why it does not contain all the roots? Because it contains only q elements.
Yes, sir.
But this has q power m minus 1 roots.
Q power. Yes, sir.
So it does not contain all the roots, right? So they
Yes.
are coming from bigger thing. So then so again please be careful, and to you and other people. So when you go to bigger field, it is divided into product of linear factors, but in the lower field it is not like that. So these will be combined and become one polynomial. Okay, I'll repeat. You take x power 4 minus 1 in Rfx, what happens? I'm asking the question to you. X power 4 minus 1 in R of x, how it split?
So x square, you just said it's x square minus 1.
Into x square plus 1.
X square plus 1 and then x
But x square minus 1 you can further split.
Yes, that can be x minus 1 into x plus 1.
But whereas in complex numbers, how do you use x power 4 minus 1 split?
Then it will be again x minus I and x plus I.
So it is divided into four polynomials.
4 parts or factors.
Yeah, 4 irreducible things. So that is the fundamental theorem of algebra. So every polynomial in complex number splits with complex coefficients. Okay, so it is depends upon where you are, how it splits. So you are lower the field, very lower field, then a number of many of these combine and give one polynomial, right? So that is the entire thing. See, our goal is to tell that in the base field, how many factors are there, how it splits. So that is the goal, where the minimal polynomial concept is coming. Yeah, okay, Pragati, go ahead.
So this and these since so the smallest degree polynomial with coefficient in the base field GFQ that has 0 in the extension field GFQ power m is called the minimal polynomial of beta j. Now for the example, consider the subfield GF2 and its extension field GF8. And so here our q is 2 and m is 3. So x power 7 minus 1 can be splitted into x minus 1 into x cube plus x plus 1 into x cube plus x square plus 1.
Okay,
Now,
so wait here sometime.
yes, sir.
Here they need to ask questions, and if they understand this, they will understand other fields also, right? This is
Yes, sir.
one example. They need to be very much clear. What are elements in GF8? Okay, tell me what are elements in GF2? Pranita, what are elements in GF2?
X
GF2,
minus
F2. GF2. What are elements in GF2?
x minus 1 and x plus 1.
No, I'm not asking factor and all. What are elements in GF2?
0 and
Z2.
1.
0 and 1.
Yeah.
See, GF2, GF8 is not polynomials, okay? GF8 is not polynomial, but we are representing that as a polynomial. So be careful that there are different representations. Okay, so that is actually GF F2 of x quotienting with some degree 3 polynomial. That is one aspect, but independently we can think of elements as 1 alpha alpha square up to alpha power 7, where alpha is a primitive element. Okay, so I'll come to that in a while. So that's what, be careful here. Now I'm asking what are elements in GF8, that is field with 2 power 3 elements. Somebody?
Sir, alpha square,
But
alpha
what are
cube,
all those things?
the generator of the cyclic polynomial.
Okay, okay, go again, go slow. What are 0 and 1? They are the roots of which polynomial? Zero and 1 are roots of which polynomial?
Square
X
minus
into
X square minus 1, right? Sorry, x square minus x, right? Hello?
yes, x into x minus.
yeah.
X square minus x. What are the roots? X square minus x. What are the roots?
0 and 1.
0 and 1. What is this 2 here? X square minus x. 2 is the field with 2 elements. Okay, now I want to find all the elements of the GF8. What is that? They are the roots of
X raised to 8.
minus x.
Hmm.
X power 8 minus x, but you do not know what are its roots, right? That's the problem. Are you following my point? X square minus x, you will tell immediately that 0 and 1 are the roots. But x power 8 minus x, what are the roots? Are you okay?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, good. So x power 8 minus x, how do you split it? X power 8 minus x?
X into x raised to 8 minus 1.
7 minus 1.
No, 7 minus.
But x power 7 minus 1, again I split it. How do I split it?
Yes.
How do I split it? At least you know one more factor for x power 7 minus 1. At least you know at least one.
X minus 1.
1, because that is already in Z2. Z2 is in
Yes.
Z8. That Z, not Z8, sorry, Z2 power 3. Not Z2 power 3 also. The finite field with 2 power 3 elements. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so x power 7 minus 1. In Z of x, how it splits? Instead of finite fields. So can you unshare? Actually, I'll share now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. So are you able to see the slide board here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I'll tell you here. So x power 8 minus x. Okay. So it is, first of all, it is very much easy to see that this part. And it is easy to see that x into x minus 1 into x power 6 plus x power 5 plus and so on plus 1. This much is okay. You know from childhood.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But now can you split it further? In Z of x, you cannot do that. So these are called cyclotomic polynomials. Okay. What I want to say that, so x power 7 minus x is equal to phi 1 of x into phi 2 of x, phi 7 of x. Okay. In general, so x power 7 minus x power n minus 1 is equal to product d divides n.
X to the power 7 minus 1, I think.
Okay, thanks. So this is phi d of x. Okay, x power n minus 1 is equal to d divides n phi d of x. What are these? These are called cyclotomic polynomials. Okay, right. So for example, how do you write x square minus 1? You know, right? Phi 1 of x into phi 2 of x. What is x cube minus 1? Cube roots of unity, you know that. Tell me. X minus 1 into x square plus x plus 1. So in Z, I cannot split further. Are you following that? In integers, I cannot split further. It is irreducible there. Okay. So this is phi 1 of x. This is phi 3 of x. Okay. So it is equal to product d divides 3 phi d of x. Okay. Maybe not clear. Okay. I'll give one more example. So x power 6 minus 1. How do you write it? Somebody can help me now.
Sir, x cube minus 1
into
x cube plus 1.
First case, good, very good.
Yes,
Then
the
x,
x minus 1 into x square plus x plus 1
very good.
into x plus 1 into x square minus x plus 1.
Very good. So actually this is actually phi 1 of x.
Yes, sir.
This guy is phi 2 of x.
Yes. So these are
This is
irreducible
phi 3 of
in
x.
Z.
This is phi 6 of x. Okay. And these are cannot be split further. Okay. So that is actually, this is product d divides n phi d of x. Okay. So this is a nice, beautiful way to factor x power n minus 1 in integers. But if you go to finite fields, it is integers or cube, both are same. Don't worry about it. In the rationals also, I cannot do further. In the field of rationals, it is splitted like this only. But whereas if you look at, again, I come to now the polynomial she is telling. So x power 8 minus x. So this is x times x power 7 minus 1. In integers, this is divided into only two terms. But whereas in Z2, no, it is more than that. In Z2, how it is split? X minus 1. Okay, I'll write one more time. It is x power 5 plus x power 4 and plus x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. But it is further split here. How it is split? X into x minus 1 into x cube plus x plus 1 into x cube plus x square plus 1. Okay. Why it is irreducible in Z2? You know. Is it okay, Shruti?
Yes, sir.
So what is that I want to say? It is now splitting further. And I told you that every polynomial of degree 3, every polynomial of degree 3 over Z2 divides which polynomial? I repeated 3 times, at least now somebody can tell me. Every polynomial of degree 3, every irreducible polynomial, sorry. Every irreducible polynomial of degree 3
X to
over
the power 3 minus 1 minus 1.
No. Little bit more. 2 also will come. X power 2 power 3 minus 1. Okay. So every irreducible polynomial of degree n over Zp divides x power p power n minus x. Every irreducible polynomial of degree n over Zp divides x power p power n minus x minus 1. Okay. Now, so these two are irreducible polynomials over Z2. Now these are the only two. Why? This is what this is telling. Every irreducible polynomial of degree 3 divides x power 2 power 3 minus 1. So now if there is any other, then it has to divide this x cube minus x power 7 minus 1 or x power 7 x cube minus x also, no problem, right? But now already I divided completely. These are the only two came. So there are no other. So there is a nice formula that how many irreducible polynomials of degree 3 over 2, how many in general, how many irreducible polynomials of degree n over Zp are there. Okay. So, okay, finally my point is that it is not trivial problem, but so we need to understand more, then you need to do study more finite fields ki bare mein. Okay, so that we cannot go in this course now. Okay, so actually so cyclotomic polynomial I take, it is because already they are splitting in Z. When it splits in Z, it splits in every p. Okay, but now how this further going to split? This is further going to split. I'll give one more example with that. I can she can continue. See, you know x square plus 1 in Zx or in Qx. Is it split or it is irreducible? Irreducible. It cannot write product of 2. But if I take to Zp of x, okay, let us see now. So now my P is of the form 4k plus 1, and P can be of the form 4k plus 3, and there is another guy left. Which one left? Which
4K.
prime? No. 4k not a prime, no?
Oh.
So, primes of the form 4k plus 1 or 4k, 2 is missing, right? Yeah, 2. Now in Z2, how is it splits or as it is x square plus 1? What do you know about that?
Does not.
Anyone else?
Roots.
Anyone else?
It splits.
It
One is a
splits.
root.
One is a root. Actually it is x plus 1 whole square. Right? It is repeated root because 2 divides 2. Is it okay, Shruti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. It splits actually. So in 2 it is splitting. So you remember in the first quiz exam, first mid exam, I gave one problem. -1 is quadratic residue if and only if. You remember that? P is of the form 4k plus 1. You remember that? Okay. So if you do not
Yes.
remember,
Yeah, sir.
Yes.
yeah, good. Okay. What is that I want to say that -1 has a square root over modulo P when it is of the form 4k plus 1, otherwise it is not. That means that x square plus 1 splits in Z5. How it splits in Z5? Is it true that x minus 2 into x minus 3 is equal to x square plus 1? Hello? Are you able to see that x square plus 1 is equal to x minus 2 into x minus 3?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so -1 is congruent to -1, 2 square is congruent to -1 mod 5. Are you okay? Are you okay? -1 is also congruent to 3 square mod 5. Are you okay? Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that means x square congruent to -1 modulo 5 has two roots. What are those? 2 and 3. Okay, you see that beauty of this one. So why Gauss and all these people worked on quadratic residues? So they want to see that where it is reducible, when it is not reducible. So quadratic reciprocity law, quadratic reciprocity and all. So they want to look at that where these polynomials are reducing, not reducing. A lot of nice history are there. Okay, more later cubic reciprocity law, like that things are there, Artin reciprocity law. So do not go into, don't worry. I like this area, but I cannot also put a lot of things to you also, right? So that's why you remember that when she wrote in ZP, she wrote like this, x power 4 minus 1. She written like that, x minus 1 into so x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4 she wrote. Do you remember? But x minus 4, x minus 1 and x minus 4 are nothing but x square minus 1. Okay, it is x plus 1 into x minus 1. So plus 1 is nothing but 4. Sorry, minus 1 is nothing but 4. I told you that part also.
Yes, sir.
So it is splitting completely. But if I split x power 4 minus 1 in Z3, how it splits? Again, it has x minus 1 into x plus 1. So x plus 1 is same as x minus 2. Okay, now x plus 1 is same as x minus 2. But what about other polynomial? Degree 4 hai. So x minus 1 into x plus 1, that is x square minus 1. What is other thing? X square plus 1. Is it irreducible or reducible in Z3? Hello?
Irreducible.
It is irreducible. I cannot split further. So what is the conclusion? X power 4 minus 1, x square plus 1 in particular, x square plus 1. So I am just telling about one polynomial, you understand much more clarity. So it is where it splits, where it is not splits, related to what? -1 is quadratic residue or not. Okay, this problem boils down to checking that -1 is a quadratic residue or not. -1 is a quadratic residue modulo P, then x square plus 1 splits in ZP of x. That is the major goal, major objective that. So why I had to study quadratic residues and all? The reason is this guy, where this polynomial split does not split and all that. Okay. Okay, fine. So it took sufficient time. Sorry, actually, I am unable to control myself. So sorry, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Pragati. No, I will
Yes,
not
sir.
disturb you. Continue, complete.
So we were seeing that x power 7 how it splits in a GF8. So we know that in the previous example we have seen all the elements of GF8 in terms of the polynomial thing. So x power 7 minus 1 can be factorized as x minus 1 into x minus z into x minus z square, all the non-zero terms of GF8, which we have seen in the previous example. Now we'll see that when we write x power 7 minus 1 as a product of x minus 1 x cube plus x plus 1 into x cube plus x square plus 1 and the product of the non-zero roots, then we'll see that so these two factorizations are equal. So sum of the polynomial will the x minus 1 will be x minus 1 is the same for the factorization
Here one
in
point I
GF.
want to add actually, so
Yes.
you are also not telling, that's why I'm telling.
Okay,
See,
sir.
GF8 will come by Z2 of x. One way to look at is the Z2 of x quotienting with degree 3 polynomial. So which degree 3 polynomial I had to take? You can take any one of them. Okay.
Yes.
But both are isomorphic. But here can you see from this table, see that alpha is root for which polynomial? Is alpha is root for x minus 1? No, right? X minus 1, what is the root?
1.
1. So simple. But alpha is root for these two polynomials, one of these guys, right? What is alpha actually, by the way? What is
Primitive
alpha, by
element.
the way? Primitive root. Primitive root means what? In a GF8, if I remove 0, I'll get a finite field, group. So it is a cyclic group and it has a generator. So that what is that generator? So GF8, now all the roots of this polynomial x power 7 minus 1 into again multiplied by x. 0 also will be there in the, so that is my goal today. GF8 contains all the roots of this x cube minus x. But what are all the roots? Okay, so that can come from taking alpha from x cube plus x plus 1, or alpha can be x cube plus x square plus 1. Okay, it is now there, so it can vary. Okay, but she took where alpha is root for which polynomial, that you are not telling. That's my point. Can somebody
Sir,
help me? Oh, yeah, not you, somebody help me, that alpha is root for which polynomial here?
X cube plus x plus 1.
Very good. How do you came to know that? Because here the elements in terms of alpha, right? X cube plus x plus 1. The roots are alpha, alpha square, alpha power 4. Now what is this telling? If alpha is a root for this polynomial, then alpha cube, alpha power 6, alpha power 5 are roots for which polynomial?
X cube plus x square
plus x. Okay. Now if alpha is a root for x cube plus x square plus x, then alpha cube plus alpha power 6 plus alpha power 5 now become roots for
x cube plus x plus 1.
Very good. Okay, that is the just thing. Okay, so but these are all little bit abstract. Yeah, hota hai, right? Iota is also like that. So we are more familiar with this, but actually it is a foreign body, right? Enter into our blood. Okay.
So basically, we can take any one of these two as our generator.
Very good. Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You can take either root of x cube plus x plus 1, or you can take the root of x cube plus x square plus 1 to get that. So yeah, so but when you are doing the root for this one, actually you are quotienting with respect to x cube plus x plus 1. You are taking that root, you are quotienting that, but don't worry about that quotienting part. You can leave that aside. Yeah. So Pragati, you want to say something?
Sir, so I was just saying that the factors of x minus z, x minus z square, and x minus z square plus z will contribute to x cube plus x plus 1.
Very good.
And the other factors will contribute to x cube plus x square plus x. So here we see
but you are connecting somehow. But what are these 1 z square plus z plus 1 z square plus 1 z square plus z plus 1? What are all these things? How do you got it? You not tell. Do not tell. Wait for some time. Someone else may tell. So you are quotienting with which polynomial to get these things?
X cube plus x plus 1.
Yeah, that is the thing. That also you are not. So that is also you need to tell. See, earlier Shruti told, right? If I quotient him with x cube plus x plus 1 in Z2 of x, Z2 of x set of all polynomials. When I quotient with x cube plus x plus 1, that means I'm dividing the polynomial with x cube plus x plus 1 and I'm taking the remainder, right? So if so let us assume that, so you already told instead of z, you can think of x. So x, if I quotient with, if I divide with x cube plus x plus 1, what happens?
It will be x only.
X only. X square only. So z square, x square plus x as it is only, right? But whereas x cube, if I divided by x cube plus x plus 1, what is the remainder I'll get?
X plus 1.
X plus 1. That is what is going on here. Is it okay, Aditi?
So can you repeat just once?
What I want to say, see, what is the, how elements in Z2 of x quotienting with x cube plus x plus 1 look like? As Shruti told earlier. Can you tell that part? Don't worry about all these things. See, doing modulo px, right? Yeah, so exactly, she understood. Modulo px we are doing, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you do modulo px, what are the polynomials? How elements in zx by x cube plus x plus 1 look like? Yes, Shruti, can you help again?
Yes. So if you divide a polynomial by x cube plus x plus 1, then the remainder has to be a polynomial of degree 2 or less than that.
Very good.
So it can be a0 plus a1x plus a2x square. And since we are looking in Z2, so each one of them, a0, a1 and a2 have 2 choices. So that's why we were getting 8. So here the possible elements in the set will be, just take all the values of a0, a1 and a2. So if like that, you will get 1 x square, then 1 plus x, 1 plus x square, 1 plus x.
Yeah, like that. Is it now
like
clear,
that, yeah.
Aditi?
Yeah, sir.
Very good. Okay. See, thing is that, okay, we'll explain today, but later, unless and until you try, how can you go, you understand, you know? I'm just not telling Aditi or somebody, I'm just telling you, all of you. So we are ready to explain. But okay, but explanation pura understand karne ke liye, so we'll take more classes also. But from your side, we need something, right? You have to try to read it on your own again one more time. So you need to make some efforts. Unless and until you try, no one can understand. Whatever I told, okay. So make it more clear ke liye more classes I have to take. Okay. But now today we are giving some ideas, right? But really you want to understand, then you have to read. you have to start. Okay, anyhow, yeah, go ahead, Pragati.
So,
Yeah, this part is
this
clear.
yes, sir. So we have seen that for the minimal polynomial of alpha square and alpha power 4 is same, and similarly for the alpha cube, alpha power 6 and alpha power 5, which is also equal to alpha power 12, is the same. So why it is same? So that is the another definition, that what is set of conjugates. If fx is the minimal polynomial of beta, then it is also a minimal polynomial of the elements in the set um, beta power q square up to beta power q raised to power r minus 1, where r is the smallest integer such that beta power q raised to power r minus 1 is equal to beta.
But are you
And
given the
this,
proof for this one?
no, sir, I thought that it will take time.
No, that's okay.
for the class.
I'll give. Okay, you can
Okay.
unshare. I'll give the proof.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. You are understanding me very well. Okay. Yeah, so don't worry, be cool. Okay, so let us take x square minus 2, right? So natural q of x or z of x. So can somebody tell me its roots?
No roots in QX.
QX means go higher level. Okay, complex numbers or real numbers. Go and tell.
Plus
Root
minus
2.
root.
Root 2 and
minus root 2.
minus root 2. So this minus root is called conjugate of this. Root 2 is called conjugate of this. Okay. All the roots are called conjugate to each other. Is it okay? So conjugates have the same minimal polynomial. Is it okay? What are the conjugates of this x cube minus 2? What are all the roots? That is what I'm telling. See, so Kronecker, what is done is that, so he told that it is abstract actually. So x cube minus 2, it is irreducible. So that can be proved by Eisenstein criterion, something is there. It is isomorphic to some, so how here elements look like? It is a vector space over Q of degree how much?
Infinite.
Degree
QX,
of the
right?
extension, degree of the extension, degree 3.
Yes.
As a vector space, I'm telling.
Oh, yeah, sir.
So that can be okay. Actually, what you are doing, you are actually, this is a0 plus a1x plus a2x square, what you told, right? Hello?
Yes, QX
This
by x cube
1x x square are the basis. 1x x square is the basis. A0, A1, A2 are the coefficients from Q, right? So this, when I quotienting with it, is a degree 3 extension. So it is isomorphic to Q of cube root of 2, right? Which is also isomorphic to Q of omega of cube root of 2, which is also isomorphic to Q of omega square of cube root of 2. Are you okay? So which root we are adjoining, I don't know. It is abstract. This is abstract. This is little concrete. These are concrete. Okay. Kronecker told this part. There is a field extension, but this is not a splitting field. Here x cube minus 2 will split only like x minus cube root of 2 into some other polynomial of degree 2. Okay. But whereas if I go to cube root of 2 comma omega, I'll adjoin both of them. Smallest field containing both cube root of 2 and omega, whose degree of the extension is 6. Okay, it is 6. So there this polynomial completely splits. Okay, don't worry about that. So my point is that these three are conjugates. Okay. Okay, now how to find conjugates here? Okay, so now I have a polynomial f of x, okay, over zp of x. Okay, now alpha is a root of f of x. Okay, what do you mean by alpha is root of f of x?
F of alpha is 0.
F of alpha equal to 0, right? Good. Now what is f of alpha power p? This is the question. I'm telling that right? Is it okay? What is f of alpha power p? So my polynomial f of x is equal to a naught plus a1x plus and so on plus some say an x power n. Okay. And now alpha is a root, then a naught plus a1 alpha plus and so on plus an alpha power n is equal to 0. Right. Now I am claiming that f of alpha power p is also equal to 0. Why? That is the crux. Okay. So let us see that. What is f of x power p? Can somebody help me? This is my f of x. So where these a naught, a1, an belongs to?
ZP.
ZP, right? ZP of x mein liya tha. So they are in ZP. Okay. Now what is that power p? So if you are not comfortable, then just take polynomial of degree 1. Then we'll extend it. Can somebody tell me what is this power p? If you are not comfortable doing so many terms and power p, just do two terms first. What is this?
This will be P, C. You want me to tell the
Yeah,
formula?
Yeah,
So
a
no-
naught plus
Plus
PC1,
PC1,
right?
A naught.
Something will come, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But what
But
about
each
PC1?
terms will have P. So
P,
each
so it
term will
becomes
divide
0,
P.
right?
Yes,
They all
yeah.
become 0. Good.
Yes.
If they are become 0, then what is the final answer?
It's just A naught plus
A naught power P plus
A1
power P into x
X
power
raised
P.
to P. Yes.
Is it okay? Good. But what is A naught power P? When you are in a finite field, so ZP pay. So what is the Fermat's little theorem says? In Z, what is A power P congruent
It's just
to?
A naught.
A power P is congruent to A mod P, Fermat's little theorem. So this simply A naught, okay, and this simply A1, okay, and alpha power, so x power P. Now if I substitute alpha here, what happens? Alpha is a root. Alpha is a root. Okay, not following? Okay,
It will be
no
equal
problem.
to 0.
0.
So see, it is this guy, right? I told f1 of alpha equal to 0. That means a naught plus a1 alpha equal to 0. Now I'm asking what is f1 of alpha power p? What is this equal to? A naught plus a1 into alpha power p. Okay, that is fine. But I just now I computed something. What is
Alpha raised to P is congruent to alpha.
No, that is not.
No, alpha is not in this.
But I know something. F1 power alpha p is
A naught plus A1
a naught plus a1 alpha power
alpha
p.
raised to P.
This is the main crux. So what is that I want to say now? What is f of x power p? Okay, don't worry about all. You tell me just this part. What is f of x power p?
It should be
A naught plus
A naught plus A1 x.
Okay, I'll repeat. Okay, no problem. That's why she is telling that it takes time. Okay. So f of x equal to a plus bx. Okay. So I am working in Z2 for now for much more simplicity के लिए. Okay. What is f of x square? Is it equal to f of x whole square? That is the question. Okay, let us work out. What is f of x square? A plus b x. What is f of x whole square? Over Z2. So a plus bx whole square. It is equal to a square plus 2b abx plus b square x square. But what is a square? A. What is b square? B. It is equal to x square. Well, so at least now can you help me? What is that happening?
We've proved it that fx square is equal to.
So these two are equal. So can you now generalize it and tell me? F of x power p is equal to?
A0 plus A1.
F of x power p is equal to?
Fx raised to the whole.
Fx whole power p. So this is the thing I am telling. Don't worry, till now not understood also you can understand. If you do power p, so only thing you need to understand is that we are doing characteristic p, so all other quotients gets cancelled. Only
So now if alpha is the root of fx.
each term power p hoga, but each term power p pe. So there is a coefficient. Coefficient is from the base field, so it becomes again the same coefficient. That's why these two are equal. Now is it okay, Shruti? At least are you followed?
Yes, yes.
So what about Pragati, who is teaching today? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are already know. So this is important. So then what is the conclusion from here? If alpha is a root, then for f of x? Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, good. Please continue. Pranita, please continue. Alpha is the root for f of x, then?
Alpha is a root for f of x to the power. F of
Alpha raised to p
alpha
is
raised to
also
p.
root.
Also
a
a root for f of x, right? Good. What about alpha power p square? That is also root, right? This is even true for any power n also.
Yes.
So, but so what is the problem now if you go like this alpha square and so on? After some time, they repeat. Why they repeat? Because alpha power p power n minus 1 is equal to how much? Alpha is the generator of, so she is writing gf of p power n. I am writing like this, right? You remember that?
1.
Yes.
It is 1. So then again, if I multiply by alpha, it become alpha now, right? If I take one more power, are you following that? Okay, this is 1 means x power p power n equal to how much? X power p, alpha. It is alpha, right? So again, they will repeat, but how long they will not repeat? So up to some extent, alpha square up to alpha power p power n minus
P raised to n minus 1.
Yahan tak they will not repeat. They are elements of the field, right? These are all the conjugates. These are all the roots of that polynomial. That is what she want to tell. Okay, so conjugates are easy to find out. That's a beauty. This Frobenius map, this map is helping us to find all conjugates. If I know one conjugate, if I know one root, I will know all the roots. They are exactly alpha power p square up to alpha power p power n minus 1. Is it not beautiful? When I first saw it, it's wonderful actually. All the roots I can find out by just simply that other roots are simply alpha power p square. These are all the roots. So now how it splits my original polynomial now? X minus alpha into x minus alpha power p, like that. So if I multiply all of them, then I'll get the polynomial in the base field. But this is a upper field, it is splitting product of linear. But it is not going to split here below. Okay, So that is the way. Yeah. So, but time is up actually. So practice, Sari. We'll continue in the next class.
Yes, sir.
So, till now, everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Sachin, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good.